Hello and welcome to the program. I am coming to you live from my office because I'm that dedicated to providing this quality um, survivor, amateur survivor content. Joined with me, as always, is Annabel. Welcome.
Hi.
And Max. We've been.
Hey guys.
I cut him off again.
CK, gotta say you're looking good in that suit.
Thank you, man. I just cut you off again. We've been told, Annabel and I have been told that maybe we cut Max off a bit too much. So
there's an anonymous source, not naming names, but you know what? There's three of us here, and I feel like we should all get that equal share. My hot takes are hot takes, whether you like them or not.
They're lukewarm, but yeah, continue.
Yeah. See, look, this is what I'm talking about, CK.
This is why
CK, mute him. He's already boring me.
All right, I've been put in my place.
Survivor producer. You're all about equity for the confessionals. No, you shove George down our throat 50% of the time, and Australia is happy. That is the content people are looking for, for everyone to get a fair go.
All right, I know my place. I'm the fluffer. I'm here for my couple funny gags and the challenges.
You're here for the common man. You're the people's champ.
Yeah, of course. You all gotta have that. When you got two big personalities and just me, the meat in the sandwich, it's a tasty sandwich. Makes for a good sandwich. That's it. All right. Anyway,
all right,
continue.
This week's episode.
I said enough already. It's too much too early, I feel.
That we've got 3 people watching. I'm sure the numbers are going to skyrocket through, and we know people do listen to this after the show because we've received many complaints about our behavior. So keep watching and keep complaining. We like to make an impact. That's what we're about. Now,
please keep complaining. Even the host,
mute him.
Co-host,
mute him. Mute him.
Whoever's gotten in your ear, Max, is taking this to a new level. We're not a fan. Now the episode. Sunday, Friday. I watched it late Friday, and I had a few beers. So let's just go with my memory here. But I have a pretty good memory when inebriated. So we started off. You see, Annabelle's so dedicated to this activity, which I think is so hilarious. More dedicated to anything she's ever really done related to Survivor in her life. So other than her tweets, which are epic, of course.
I think her notes are better than mine as well. No, I'm just kidding. I've got
my notes
blank
are all
page.
up here. Right, so we go straight back to the orange for the aftermath of it didn't.
I'm going to lead the conversation today.
It was the Love Rocks. Joe finding the Love Rocks.
No, she didn't just find the Love Rocks. She gave her tribe a little song when she was clapping them together like that. Got to give her credit for that. That was hilarious.
Okay,
CK, you were drunk. You don't remember. She was giving the whole tribe a little show, like a clickety clack. Come here,
tribe, though, Max. Talking over the top of you, Puffs. Don't even think about it. She wasn't performing for the tribe. She was performing for the cameras because she had to run over to the tribe and find that she found them. And I thought perhaps they were did you think it was crazy vibes? I thought it was giving slightly unhinged, banging the rocks together. Or did you think that it was like a cute performance? I mean, I loved it, don't get me wrong, but what kind of vibe do you think they were going for with that?
I honestly, the way it was perceived and well edited, I guess, was that she was clapping the rocks as a little show to her tribe. But now thinking about it, it's probably just for the cameras, with the excitement of her obviously finding the rocks. And yeah, my perspective was that it was to the tribe. But
I think it's an organic reaction to being excited to find the rocks by herself, which she managed to do after many, many tribe members had failed to do so. And then to discover she's now stuck in this situation of playing the social pick'em game with them, which frankly, I feel that the hosts and the producers should have enforced. This kumbaya randomly select bullshit is not entertaining for the viewers. As lovely as it is for the game players who don't want to pick their friends, that is the whole point. As you guys explained to me last week when I missed that's what was going to happen, of the social strategy of the Love Rocks. And they completely obliterated. I would have put a hard down. No, you can't do that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, you bring in, obviously a good point. But I feel with the Love Rocks, having them out there is a great opportunity for people to just wander and look. It kind of breaks that awkwardness of if there's no extra objective to go and look for something, people just stay in their clusters and they just stick around talking to each other.
Disagree with this. I agree 100%. The point I'm saying though is they introduced the social strategic element of all the rocks being together and you having to assign them to people. So you're choosing who's going to be part of this continued advantage hunt, part of this continued opportunity for an advantage, which is a whole social strategy part of the game that you don't get to see in LRGs very much because it's normally based in real Survivor around rewards. So because you don't have rewards,
Puffy's giving hotter takes. Fluffy's giving hotter takes this episode than Max is.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying, Annabelle?
I understand what you're saying, and I disagree. I disagree, asterisk. So I don't think they should force it because I like the idea that Jo had this opportunity. She found the rocks and she says that she doesn't really want it, as in she doesn't really want this power. And in fact, she wasn't even going to give herself a rock until Michael really pushed for her to do that. But I like if this changes down the line, right, as they go to a tribal council or two and the line in the sand starts to become firmer, the idea that Jo wasted this opportunity by giving rocks to Sophie, Michael, Grace, and Nick. Grace, who is her ally and is gone, Nick, who she was targeting, Sophie and Michael, who also aren't on her team. The idea that she has pushed them forward when she could have given that rock to Malcolm, who is on her side, I think, and subsequently as the line becomes firmer, then no one else is going to start doing it randomly. It's not like Nick is going to start randomly handing out advantages to the people who were throwing and thinking about his name last time. So
now Nick, because Grace was eliminated, he, Sophie, and who was the third person you mentioned that got a rock? Michael. Yes. They will get the next 3 rocks. Because we're going to go from 4 to 3. So actually eliminating someone who has a rock is actually a really good strategy. And I don't know if that was a consideration. And maybe we could ask Grace about that when she comes on later and joins us. But they will get one now. So those 3 are, for all intents and purposes, in alliance, a grouped alliance. They're together in some form, whether they're number ones, potentially not with Michael and the other 2. But they're all going to just go happily share the rocks with each other. But I think it could get very interesting on the next one after that when you're going down to 2 with that group. Very, very interesting. And you're right. They won't do it the next time on that basis. And Paul Malcolm might have needed it.
Yeah. What about for you? Like, if you're in Joe's situation, would you have played it safe and done what she did, or distribute them to who you thought was in your alliance at the time? Given how early it was in the game.
I haven't been seen finding them, right? So she wasn't seen finding them.
Yeah.
So I've got them now privately. I know that you have to show everyone anyway because of the table, but I would give them to my alliance. I would use that to forge bonds. Like, particularly in an 8-person tribe, you need to create bonds, and that is the best use of this thing. The odds of you particularly, you go 4 rounds. The odds of you getting the advantage, they're low. You use these things to build relationships, in my opinion. And I think she completely missed that opportunity to do so.
Also, so you say you find the 4 rocks, you just distribute them one at a time to your close allies. Is that what you do? Is that what you do as well, Annabelle? Something similar?
I mean, I was having a think about it. I think it's especially hard because Kuberang hadn't been to tribal yet, right? So they don't really know where they stand. And if you're someone who's straddling multiple alliances, so for example, Ma and Nick, who are sitting in the middle between a couple of alliances, Sophie, who's in basically every alliance, I think if they find the rocks, then you kind of don't want to show your cards, right? Whereas I think if you're somebody like Banfield, or if you're someone like Grace or Jo, where you really have your team, and then you've got the people who you're definitely not working with. If you're one of those people, I think then yes, you use it to solidify those relationships.
I think for me, you asked me the question, what would I do? And I just gave you an answer, but I would need more clarification from the producers about the rules around this before I make my decision. Like, for example, I think once the rocks, and it was they sort of did this because they did it publicly with the plates, but it was made clear that sort of once you picked them, you had to put them on the plates of who's got them. Now, would I be able to pocket all 4, covertly give them to people, and then people put their rocks on the plate? Or would I actually have to go up and in front of everyone go boom, boom, boom? Or could I do it while they're all at the water well and people don't know which ones I'm putting them on? Like, if I had to do it in front of everyone, I probably wouldn't do it. But if I could do it in some way that was covert so that people aren't aware of how the rocks were found or allocated, I would do it secretly. But that's a big part of the rules. And maybe we could ask Grace if she's got that awareness. It may not have been a question that was asked because it seemed like Joe was just quite happy to start making a song, I Found the Rocks, and then do a Kumbaya selection. So these questions may not have been asked, but to me, that's the sort of person I am. I'd be looking at the strategy of what I could do within the rules that they're going to set out for the game. So we move now. We'll come back to purple, of course, because they lost. Unbelievable. This powerhouse tribe that I said would never lose challenges lost. But we will go to orange, and they are coming back from the incredible numbers of votes that were given at their tribal council, trying to work that all through. And I think the 2 takeaways that I think we should be looking at is one, I'm blanking on the name. Anna?
So I want to talk about Mel's lie here.
Okay.
So I want to talk about what is more concerning, how Mel thinks this lie is going to work moving forward, or the fact that everyone has so willingly bought it, despite how complicated that would be. So
for those that didn't watch the episode or that were somewhat inebriated during it, can we refresh what was Mel's lie?
So Mel has 3 votes that are going to be cast against her by no one for 3 tribal councils. 2 tribal councils. So in this tribal council just gone, she had 3 votes from no one, plus she had a vote from Anna. Okay, now she has gone back and told the tribe that part of her punishment was getting 2 votes from no one, and that there must be 2 other people or someone with an extra vote who cast an additional vote for her. Now, I would question what's going to happen at next tribal, because everyone is somehow convinced, Haley, John, they all say, even in confessionals, that it seems more believable that somebody else, in addition to her who went to the ultimate sacrifice, found an extra vote somewhere and used it on Mel, then that's more realistic than Mel is lying and said 2 votes instead of 3. And I just want to know what is going to happen at the next tribal. Are they still going to believe that there's all these extra votes hidden around tribal council, in addition to the rocks, in addition to the ultimate sacrifice? To me, it just seems a lot to buy.
I feel like it's an absurd lie.
It is, but what we did get shown is Anna picking up on the fact that I think I'm not sure who she was talking to at the time, but she brought up the fact that what if there are 3 votes against Mel? Knowing
Anna's
the fact that she was the one who...
She's trying to... Anna voted for Mel for some reason.
That's right, yeah. And she knows where the votes went, and that...
But there were 4 votes. So none of these people can count. There were 4 votes for Mel.
And Anna knows she's obviously the only one who voted for Mel, and that the punishment is 3 votes, not the 2 votes that Mel has been saying to the tribe. So that will be interesting going forward to see if she can sort of expose that lie to the tribe.
Mel, it is a testament to Mel's social game. And Anna
because this lie is really bad. Like, as you just pointed out to me, it is absurd. And the fact that anyone's believing it is a credit to Mel. Of course, Mel was my winner pick, so I think I was right on board with this.
famously.
and
So-
it's great that we have Mel here at the moment, because I thought the biggest takeaway from that episode, and I worried for Mel, was how heavy that idol was digging into her back and shoulders. Like, that was probably quote of the episode, and great content. And Mel, I know you're listening. How's your back? How are your shoulders carrying
mute
that
Max.
heavy?
Someone mute him.
Help me out here, Mel.
Surely mute him. So Anna floats that idea, but I think it's either Michael or John shuts it down immediately and says, "Well, why would she lie about that?" And they're all like, "Yeah, no, you're right. It would.
Why would
It's
she lie about
ludicrous.
it?
It's ludicrous. She lied about it. It's
She lied
obvious.
about it. Well, we know why she lied about it.
Yes,
She's trying.
we do.
She wants to minimize what they think is going to happen at the next one. If she gets through the next Orange Tribal Council without playing the Super Idol, then whatever she did was the right play, because that's all she's got to do now. She's safe if they pile on the votes. She's safe. But if she can get through this, she is safe till like the end of the game. So whatever she's got to do, is what she's got to do. And if they're buying it, they're buying it. Like, now, why did we get, I believe Anna mentioned why she voted for Mel.
She said it was just random. She said, ha ha ha, that was just random of me. So we don't really get a lot more information than that. What we do here,
Can I say to that? I don't mind the strategy. And I'm saying this because I experienced it in an org and I went fucking insane when it happened to me, because I'm the sort of player that needs to be in fucking control of everything. But what they did, and I love this move in this org, was the vote was it was like a 9-1 vote. But somebody, knowing that like that was the vote, just threw one on me, knowing that as like a character that wanted to be in control, I'm going to lose my fucking mind about this stray vote, even though it doesn't matter. And like, who voted for me? Why was that? I got all paranoid, spat off the planet, right? I don't mind throwing a rando vote on someone in the tribe to cause chaos about it, but you need to throw that on John or on Wolf. Wolf, I think in particular, would lose his mind with a rando stray vote coming his way, even though it doesn't matter. Like, he, like me, would go all Lex Vanderberg about this shit. Who voted for me? What happened? Why did this occur? And that sort of chaos is the sort of thing you'd love to see happen if you were Anna, because you just can fade a bit more into the background. Everyone else is big. They're all fighting. Mel's going off to the alternate separation. You're just there chilling. Why? And no one will go, it was Mel. I'm sorry. No one will go, it was Anna. Anna made that move. But Mel tells us that she thought something else was happening. Last time Mel said that and couldn't give us the deets because she said she wanted to spoil it for later. And maybe that's still the case because it wasn't really made clear in this episode. I don't recall.
I'm really glad you brought that up, CK, because I actually have a running bet with another one of our listeners about how many episodes it would take before you brought up your org experiences. So thank you. I am $5 richer.
It was relevant. Relevant content.
Making this
a great move I gave to everyone.
All right. How did you go on that org? What happened?
I span off this planet in insanity, but somehow made it to the merge.
So we have 20 minutes until Grace comes on. So Joseph is the only one that made the edit, clocking that this was such a huge sacrifice. Mel must have got something incredibly powerful. We don't really hear anybody else talk about that.
Except it doesn't really work that way, does it?
Yes, it actually doesn't. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
It seems to be the same things. We also, the only other things we hear from Winyu are Mel and Simon throw Joseph out as a name. We also see James Woofy, the hustler, who kind of throws Haley under the bus to Joseph. But there seems to also be a bit of a spotlight on James. So if they go to tribal next time, I'll be interested to see how that goes. He's sticking out a little bit for, we've always said James Wolf, alpha male energy, and everyone's just a little bit intimidated by the testosterone oozing out of that man's pores.
I have to say, it's the thing that I really love about LRGs, because in an LRG like this, James Wolfe can be the alpha dog. Like, imagine him on Australian Survivor with Sean and Simon and Geordie and David Zarakis. No, he's there with George, right? Like in the minority, like Spice Girls. But on the LRG, he can be the alpha man, and I'm sure he loved that experience. I know that I did. Okay, so we get to the challenge, and look, Max, you're our resident challenge expert. How did you feel about this one? Can we keep the blocking conversation to maybe 30 seconds? But I would like to hear how you felt about the challenge in general.
Another very close challenge. We've seen 2 challenges where it's come to the golden pick or captain's pick, and this time Wolfie's alpha play came up clutch, and he won it for his tribe. That's the big player move. That was the hot take out of it. I liked the concept of tic-tac-toe, but throwing, so it involves strategy and the skill of just accuracy, I guess, in a really simple format, 1v1 style. Great second challenge, especially where there are so many variables of things that can go in your favor or not.
I agree.
And it was close again. It was close again.
I thought this challenge was really good.
Yeah.
And the commentary of it was very good.
And it was fair. How Dan, like, if there was the beanbag was on the edge, lifting it up, there was no real controversy as we saw in the first. Well,
it's just better to have Dan and Liv controlling this instead of Dom. Let's be real.
All right, that's a hot take coming out of that one. And I agree.
This is the podcast where we're mean to people, but it's funny. And if it's not funny, then that's actually kind of sad. But it is funny. So
if it's mean, it's mean.
Nice, everyone. Maybe this isn't for you. But we like to take some pot shots at.
That's why I'm here. We've discussed this at the start.
That's what we do here.
Mute Max. I miss low self-esteem, Max, and I blame our audience for this.
Yes, I blame whoever, the secret admirer that was in his ear, pushing him for an have more fair time. Look,
Thank you. Yes, it is always hilarious.
100%. You have the hot takes, Bethany.
It's not bullying if Dom is the victim. You heard it here last. Everyone's been saying this for years.
And we love Dom. We love him.
Yes, he's my favorite.
We love you. We love you, Dom. But we're also going to keep making fun of you when you make obvious calls to take out Simon, who you were clearly physically intimidated by. Now, the challenge goes like that, and we get to the ultimate sacrifice. We didn't talk about this, the grainy little Blair Witch thing that it does before it. I kind of like it. All right,
I thought it was good.
We go to that, and we're going to first up the orange. You're going to pick someone from purple.
Yes, and they pick Nick because apparently he's the strongest on the tribe, even though Ma was clearly the best at that challenge. And then
Nick was the captain's pick. Strongest on the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Nick, other than Ma, who I agree is been doing very well at the challenges, is Nick the next strongest?
I'd say it's very obviously Banfield.
I don't understand why you'd want to send a strong member of the tribe to go get the advantage unless you want to make them a target. Do you think that's the strategy?
Yes.
And then Nick, of course, picks his best buddy from Outcast hosting, right? No,
Haley is his best buddy. Anna is. I don't know if Anna has Outcast affiliations.
Sorry. Was I this drunk? I thought he took Haley.
No. So Nick and Anna went, and they have a bit of strategy chat. So they reveal a little bit about what's going on with the tribe dynamics. Anna reveals to Nick just how huge the sacrifice was that Mel had to make with that 2 whole extra votes against her.
Except Nick, that's not actually how it works. But
absolutely. And she also said that she's feeling closest with Haley. Now, Nick says...
He says... Yeah, Haley's good vibes or something like that, right? Yeah, that's right.
Yes, absolutely. Which, we know they have a pre-existing relationship. He also, so Nick says then to Anna, Grace is unanimously going at this next tribal. If Grace is not gone, something went horribly wrong.
And
now,
sadly.
She did go, so whatever. What I think the bit we need to talk about here for a couple of minutes is how Anna intends to play this punishment. So she's got an idol, and she has to say out loud who she's voting for. Her way she's going to navigate around this.
How many votes does she have to do this for? 3? 5?
3.
3.
3 trials. 3 troubles.
So her plan of attack is to make a really close friend and then vote for that friend out loud at every tribal, and they'll be totally cool with it because they're definitely not going to go. To me, there's no universe in which I would want to be survivor friends with someone who's saying the name out loud. Surely your go-to strategy here is to make sure you're definitely in the numbers, so the person whose name you say is definitely going home, right?
Yes. Or if your survivor friend is willing to take the vote and create a fake feud between the two of you that you then rejoin together, like it's an elaborately diabolical strategy. Now, I don't know anyone that's going to be prepared to go with that. No one likes to either me the
Annabel, mute him.
But maybe that's the view. Look,
It's a tough. I think it's awful. That is. I would have died hearing that punishment. That just sucks. It kind of just blows up your game.
I think we said last time that would be the worst one to get.
Yeah, and that made me think. Has the severity of the punishments changed versus how good the?
No, Mel said in the chat last time they're all the same, and it's random which one you get. So
yeah, so that's what I mean. Like if you went for a still a vote and you're copying 3 open votes.
Yeah, I also think this is actually a bit of a failing in the design of the ultimate sacrifice. We're not all complimentary here. I'll tell them how it is. It's obvious which advantages have gone when you get there. Well, obviously someone took the super idol, and then someone took the idol, and then someone took the idol for, maybe now it gets a bit more gray, but like it's going to be fairly obvious which one went. However, if the better advantage had the more significant penalty, then people were actually making a decision about, I'll take this level of benefit for this level of negative.
Mel, bring it up.
No, yeah. So it is worse.
Okay,
it is worse. Thank you, Mel, for clarifying that. So it is more severe with regards to maybe if Anna got lucky and picked the similar punishment that Mel had received for her super idol, she could have received maybe 2 votes for the next 3 rounds.
That would have been actually hilarious because then there'd be like 15 votes at the next tribal council for Orange. Could you imagine? Just like the votes just keep coming. That would be amazing, actually.
So it's good that it's So we need to I guess apologize for the fact that we thought it was all the same sort of punishments, but
I still like the way I said it because
no. I know you never apologize for anything.
Well, I need more clarification from Mel. Mel, did you know do you know what the punishments are for each particular advantage, or it's just what you get? Like basically she pulled out a scroll that says you get votes at tribal council, how many do you get or something? Like I want to know is, can you, from the piece of information that you get when you arrive at the sacrifice, can you determine the risk and reward of each item you pick? If you can do that, then I retract my statement. That's my view.
Okay. I think
going back to Anna. And look,
okay. Well, look, I don't believe that was how.
I don't retract.
Even if it was a yes, it still wouldn't retract.
No, I will retract when I'm wrong, but it just rarely happens. Now,
let's move to Kubadang and talk about who the different people think they're in alliances with. So it immediately jumps to Banfield, who says very awkward vibes around camp. But Banfield says he's in an alliance with Michael, his number 1, Nick, and Ma. Sophie, she's easy to talk to, so he's happy to have her as a number as well. From Mal, Sophie is his number 1, but he's also good with Joe and seems to be good with Nick, thinks that he has him in his pocket as well. Nick says his two are Ma and Sophie, and that they're in 2 groups of 5, one with Malcolm and Joe and the other one with Michael and Banfield. And then the one that I think is, and then we've got Grace, who's kind of not really in with anybody except for Joe. So we have this kind of bit where we're moving around, and then Nick, super genius Nick, decides that he's going to get Sophie to confront Banfield about the great Blake Banfield bluster. Is his name Banfield? Is his name Blake? Woofy's blown up his spot at the last challenge, and then Grace immediately outs Nick as the one running around talking about it. So does this mean that Michael and Banfield are no longer super tight with Nick? / what do we think about the whole Blake Banfield saga?
Well, we discussed Banfield's name last week.
We called this a week before it happened. We did.
The
same reaction to finding out when he jumped on the chat. We were calling him Banfield, what sort of name is, and he jumped on the chat. We're going to call him Bamo. He jumps on, and his name's Blake Banfield, and we're like, wait a minute, Blake's his last name is Banfield. What's he trying to do here? Be like a survivor, like a Cochrane or a Fishback or a Savage, because he's going to be such a player. We're going to call him by the last name. I don't think as a Survivor fan, he thought about this very clearly, because there's a reason I didn't wear a Boston Red Sox hat when I went to play Melbourne Survivor. You're sending a message, right? And coming in with your last name, I know this, Mel, I'm going to call this, coming with your last name implies something. But if you have a decent story about it, like Mel has said, then let people know.
That was the real story. So this was the only thing more outrageous than Mel's lie. And that was his completely bizarre lie that Blake is his middle name.
Just saying.
So he's not he is lying about his name. Why would he just say, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, because Blake's my first name. I go by Banfield. That's it. No more.
And so they call me Banfield. I've always been Banfield. Why did you not say that?
Blake is my middle name. I was deceased. It was no less shocking to me on the second watch.
What about that? Yeah. The way the expose happened was through a Deal or No Deal online reality game. No?
I know. I'm dying. A woofy mini.
I thought that was Deal or No Deal as well, of all things.
Obsessed.
Sign me up for the next one. I want to play it.
Yeah.
Absolutely obsessed.
I want to go to case 36 and go, booyah!
So let's just talk for a minute about...
Speak into the void here.
Let's move on to now the MVP of this episode in both the move she tried to make but couldn't quite get there and the confessionals, Queen Ma. What a fucking 15 minutes we got from her in the lead up this Tribal Council. And you're gonna get drowned in the Mexican tidal wave is the best fucking confessional I've ever heard in an LRG.
I agree. She was an amazing confessionalist. I love that we're going for her for the story. I disagree about the move. So this is where it's interesting.
The move to save Grace that she wanted to do but couldn't pull off.
More who she decided to target or so this is what I thought was interesting, because none of the women wanted to vote out Grace. So we have Sophie's wary of Michael and Banfield. That's kind of who Sophie's not okay with. We have Ma, who's not okay with Malcolm because he seems like a threat to her relationship with Nick, except that even though, sorry, Ma, it's all well and good to say we want to go in and play like a feminist, but then when we have the choice between sketchy vibes woman or a man who's simping for you, don't we all end up going with the man who's simping for you? Just saying. She decides instead of targeting Malcolm, instead she's going to target Joe because she's the right-hand woman of Malcolm, not feminism.
Why not take out the man? Why take out the right-hand woman?
Anyway, so she can't get rid of Malcolm because Michael and Nick, who are crucial to her strategy or her numbers, won't vote for Malcolm. But we see the only 3 people on the whole tribe who wanted to vote for Grace were Michael, Banfield, and Nick. Okay,
The
so
boys. It's the boys.
the boys minus Malcolm. So
He's not a boy,
Malcolm,
he's a man. Malcolm is a man.
yeah,
The boys.
the boys, but we don't know who Malcolm wanted to vote for. I'm saying, like, we know Sophie didn't want to go for Grace. We know that Joe wanted to go for Nick. We know that Ma wanted to go for Joe. And the swing here really is Malcolm, who wasn't going to vote for Joe because that's his right-hand woman per se. And then Michael, Banfield, and Nick didn't want to piss off Malcolm. So I feel like her target there was perhaps Malcolm at this point is just too powerful for her to have been able to get that across the line.
And look, I actually messaged Ma at 2 a.m. in the morning, drunk while I was watching this, pretty excited about everything she was doing. I take the point that you made, and I really didn't think about that, but I like that she was trying to change it up. I think she did have the wrong target, as you say. And I really enjoyed that drown in the Mexican wave line. And I actually said, I'm dead when I wrote it to her. And she wrote back to me saying, look, she just couldn't get the numbers for the vote that she wanted to do.
Well, you see that in the voting confessional, Ma saying that she tried to save Grace, but
she wanted to save Grace.
What I want to know is, who did Malcolm want? Who did Malcolm want to get out?
I think there's someone we can ask about this, because we have joining us now, very excitingly, the boot from this episode of Canberra Survivor. We just talked about her quite a lot. We're really excited to get her view on the game. First player we've had so far. So what the game's been like and what the game was like for her. I want everyone to give a lovely welcome to Grace.
Yes.
Hi, Grace.
Hey, Grace.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're very welcome. So, first question up. You've just been listening in the back room. Annabelle wants to know, what did Malcolm want to do?
No idea. No idea at all. Didn't really spend that much time talking to many people, but Malcolm was one that I sort of struggled to I had no idea.
Okay, well, we'll circle back just to your general experience. Now, you went in, I believe early on, you said, I think you identified what, your weaknesses might be and what you need to do to make sure you fit in well and make a group. And then it looked like you immediately ignored all that and just went searching for rocks. Would that be your assessment of, or was that the edit? Is the edit showed you unfairly?
No, that's, kicking myself because I was, Mum was preparing me, telling me what to do, and I had it drilled, that you need to go in and blah, blah, blah. I don't know why I ran away. I don't know.
Your mum, for those listening, she was on the first season of Canberra Survivor, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
And she's a super fan. Are you a super fan, or did you decide to go on because, it seemed like a fun thing to do?
A fun thing to do. I'm sort of a fan, but not as, I don't know. When Mum was on it, then I sort of got into Survivor and got in and was watching them, and I realized that people do like the backyard Survivor, and that it's all over the world that they do it. And then I sort of got into it. Then, she's like, oh, they're doing another season. And I thought, well, might as well apply. Why not? And it was more to be try and get it further than my mum and just to rub it in her face.
And so you mentioned that you finished at the same position. So at home, who has the bragging rights? What happens there? It's just I feel like
no. Mum believes she did better than me because she survived 2 rounds. Right? She's down there.
I see. Yeah.
And my team had, we only had 1 elimination. And I went first, but Mum, her team had 2 eliminations. She was overall, we're both the second in the whole show, but in her tribe, see, she's just pulling fine hairs here. And
she is. But to be honest, I'm with it. I see the argument. I do see it. So
I
don't know. I feel like that's it's low. Same position at the end of the day. So
So I
Yes.
want to ask the hard-hitting questions here. All
Yeah.
right, let's go to Zaddy Simon, who was obviously just exuding this powerful energy. I picked up on it. You picked up on it. Obviously, aside from his zaddiness, we talked last week about Simon potentially having a little bit of bully energy. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is how does Simon manage to make that hot and Nick so not?
Yeah, I don't.
I should have warned Grace she was coming under the mean show, not the nice show.
We know we love Nick, but I'm just saying
We do love
Simon's giving off the alpha energy and it's a vibe. What was it about him that really resonated with you and me?
Bethany's dead.
Yeah, I think maybe a dad vibe. Well, a little, I don't know. I think he was the older one in the other group, and he just, I don't. It's you sort of see the older male there. I don't know. I just.
Who did you like most on your tribe? You know, and we have to say, you know, who are your favorites from there during the game and after the game?
Joe, and even watching it, and she was so loyal, extremely loyal. And I don't know if the tables were turned, if I would even be that loyal.
Are you
Like
guys still friends?
that.
Are you still friends after the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Lovely. We
yeah,
have a
I think.
question from a viewer.
Yeah, this is a
Sorry.
good question.
Speaking of bully energy, how do you think you were bullied in your tribe, or was that just an angry outburst?
It was a little angry outburst. Yeah, I don't think I was bullied. Like someone had to go, and I don't think I was bullied at all in the tribe. And you could see like they weren't. And in the editing, they do, it does show me a bit on the outside, but there were a few conversations, little things
like
or little that weren't added in. But I don't think I was bullied at all.
This is your opportunity to mention any of those things that weren't shown that you felt might have, colored your story differently.
Let's all bitch about Nick. I want to bitch about Nick. Let's go.
Okay, so when he went away, I remember the group just awkward silence, and then when after they've chose him and he's gone with Anna I just remember that moment of Sophie asked me, and so everyone was quiet, everyone was sort of listening and having a discussion of who no one was saying a name, and I'm just like, I just said Nick, and at that point I remember I said that, then I could just tell it just spread, and then it was just like, well, we're not doing that, or that wasn't shown, and I wish that was shown because that was something that I remember that I did.
I think no, you're right, because that is something you did. It shows why you were targeted, besides perhaps, looking for rocks or not grouping together with the rest of the tribe as much. And it's very hard in these games, particularly in the first vote for a tribe, because no one wants to throw out a name. No one wants to be brave enough to throw out a name, because you say the wrong one, because you're not quite across what the connections are, and you're done. But you did that, and that takes a lot of bravery. Now, it was the wrong name, and that gave them all a reason to get rid of you, but that bravery should be afforded. It's very difficult to want to say a name in these games. So I think that's a really valuable thing for you to let us know about.
Yeah. Oh. But I think you're right. I think saying that just put a target on my back. But my goal was to try and I do remember having conversations of saying, like, this is your only opportunity. That was my argument of being like, this is your only opportunity. He's gonna get through. He's gonna end up in the end, and this is our chance to get rid of him. But they were happy.
There's no denying it.
Did you think that? Did you know that Ma was trying to flip the vote and save you potentially?
Not as hard. No, like she said I didn't believe anything that like she said. I do remember her saying trying to get Malcolm, and at the time I was like, why Malcolm? Like he's not. Wasn't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because he was on the bottom as well. I guess was her
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think
didn't
he
know. I honestly thought she was just saying whatever she wanted to anyone a little bit. So then seeing that, it made me think, oh, I could have had a chance to redeem myself. I could have jumped on board here and just been like, yeah, whatever. It's not me, whatever. I don't, but I didn't. And that's one of, a regret that I have.
I don't think you should blame yourself too hard for that, because the edit makes it look like Mars so in Grace's corner and she's going to try everything she can do to make it happen. But all three, you might not know this if you don't know us and you're not that into the LRG community, but the three of us played Melbourne Survivor 3 with Ma and we're on a starting tribe with Ma, and I still don't know if the things she told me about her view of me in the game are accurate or not, because she's very, very hard to read. She's one of the hardest people
I
I've ever
didn't know that. That
we
makes
know what
sense.
it's like to play with Ma. You don't know if you can trust her. She's so difficult to read.
Yes. And the one person that I thought was betraying me was actually at my back the whole time, as you see at the end with Joe. Like,
Yeah, she did. And you said that in your exit interview too.
I know, I messaged her and I'm like, sorry. And even like we have a group chat and I'm like, I still don't believe you, Joe. I'm just going to wait till the episode because, I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, like trying to communicate or figure out what happened. And I'm just like, she just kept saying, I'm telling you, I didn't vote for you. And I just didn't believe her. But
I'm obsessed.
Vindication now. Vindication for Joe.
It's good. It's all there's cleared. Grace,
yes, and sorry.
Sorry. I
was just going to say, I hope it doesn't backfire on her as you see in the trailer. I hope they don't come for her.
It looks bad. It looks bad.
It does look bad.
So for someone who was, it was about 3 a.m. and a lot of drinks in when I got to the end of the show, did Joe vote with Grace against Nick?
Yes. So Joe was the only other person. And then Joe, classic Joe vibes, immediately confesses it back to the tribe. So we see on the next time on, Joe confesses to having voted for Nick.
Nick's
and
gonna
we
love
see,
that.
you can imagine that is not going to go down well. You might have your org experience repeat in the way you wanted it to, CK. And we also see that Haley is running the tribe, but John has clocked her, which leads me to ask Grace, do you think you would have done better over on the other tribe?
Yes. My mum thinks I would have a lot. I think, I think I would have got along maybe a little bit better over there.
Who do you like from over there? Like, who do you think you would have got along well with? You got the group chat. You met them after the game, so you also know what they're like. Who do you think you would have been close to if you were on the Orange tribe?
I think Sam. Maybe we could have. I think we could have, if we teamed up, if we were on the same tribe, or I
can see you having a showmance with Woofy, actually.
Simon, I feel like Mel might have been, if I was on that tribe, Mel would have been my Nick. I would have been like, let's get rid of her. She's too good. I don't.
So that was why you targeted Nick. As you say, you thought he was too good. He's just going to get to the end. Apparently Mel was like that. And look, I think you're right, because I called both Mel and Nick as my winner picks. So that's a joke, because I said Mel would be first boot on our first episode. So I'm wearing that for the rest of the game. How was just the general experience for you? Mel's here. She has a comment. She says she would have loved to villain with you, Grace. She would have wanted to team up and just take everyone down, burn the world. How was the whole experience? You probably knew a little bit what to expect from your mum being on there, but still, how was it all for you?
Really fun. Honestly, it was as brutal as it seemed. I had a good time. It was lots of fun, and the whole experience leading up to it, and waiting to watch, like, I forgot a few things. It was a really good time, and on the day, it was a bit nerve-wracking. It was a good sort of like exposure therapy, which was sort of what really pushed me to go on and try and, you know, try different things, put myself out of my comfort zone. And you can really tell that on the thing. I'm nervous and clicking and twitching away, and you can tell it. I'm really struggling, but I really had a good time, and I think it's been very helpful for me.
It's look, as you
That's
say,
awesome
it's
to
a
hear.
hard thing to do. Like I said, took bravery to throw out Nick's name. It's bravery to go out in an environment like that, to put yourself out there, to risk being voted out, to find yourself at the outside of a group. Like, no one wants to be in that environment. No one wants to be voted out early. Like, it's a very tough thing to do and a brave thing to do, and you should be very proud of yourself. There's lots of people that want to play these things, and like myself, you know, I'm like, I want to play these, and I don't get worried about any of that stuff at all. But people tell me like, oh, it's so good you put yourself out there like that. I'd never do that. There are so many people that would never even think to do something like this, or to try it and take that risk. So absolutely, you should be very proud of yourself for what you did and what you achieved while you were there.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, I've had a few comments like that. People like, why would you do that, or how embarrassing? And I'm like, at the end of the day, it's not that embarrassing. If I'm laughing at myself, then I don't. Yeah.
Oh, Schneider! Snaps for Schneider. He's back.
He's got a comment that's not about his racing, which is like...
It is about his racing. It's tangentially about his racing. He's never played in LRG, but represent elsewhere, such as at Snyder Wrestling, okay?
Racing,
not wrestling, oh my
racing.
God, racing. But you know what, Snyder, you'd also be an amazing wrestler.
He would be. So... do you guys have... look, we'll give him a shout out.
Here
He's
we
going to
go.
do something. He's going to be representing the Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series race season that runs Sunday. I don't know what that is, but it sounds
Can't wait. Tits out for Snyder, everyone, tonight.
Incredibly impressive. Max, Annabelle, do you have any final comments for Grace?
No, girl, you're fab. Keep living. Love it.
It was good. I was just what I found interesting, and I feel like you, as you said, you spoke to your mum about preparing for the game. And even what was interesting in your pre-game interview, you discussed how you wanted to team up with the guys, and I guess use them as meat shields, lay low, and kind of just stay in the middle. And it's so interesting how watching people say what their game plan is, and then when they're thrown into the situation, just how everything goes out the window and it all changes. I loved how you said you just wanted to stay with the guys, as you read well that. Yes, in that group mentality with the bros, they usually do vote out the women relatively early. I'm just surprised you didn't stick with that, because I thought it was a great game plan going in.
It was the boys coming for her. It was all the girls who wanted to stick with Grace.
It was, I think
that's what was interesting. Like,
yeah. I think if I went in and made an ally immediately, like you can see, as we all, you know, everyone's saying Mars, she went in, you see her talking to everyone, trying to get her, own little bond with everyone. Maybe if I'd done that, then I would have had an ally to sort of defend me when my name came up, but I had no one there, so it was just thrown up constantly. And yeah. And one thing I want to say that I keep forgetting to mention was I actually know Joanna from outside. I went to a hen's night, and it was us trying to hide that.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Wow. So,
Grace and Joe at the strippers, you had it here first.
Yes. We were dressed as flappers, we were, but yeah. I did sort of have an ally. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Love it.
But then you thought you couldn't trust her at the end. You thought she turned on you, which is interesting.
I don't know why. I'm sorry, Joe. Thank you for being loyal.
No, that's a good story. Well, we might see you return. Like, you never know. Dan and Liv could be like, all right, we're going to have the mother and daughter pair, make them captains, and they're going to run a tribe each.
Bloodless water, absolutely.
Yes.
How good would that be as a potential future season idea?
Yeah, my mum's excited and we both want a second chance. So
we all want a second chance.
To redeem ourselves. So
we all want a second chance.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. It was bad the first time round. We're not doing that again.
You know, there's so many things you know you could have done better once you've done it once.
Yes. Yeah.
But look, thank you so much for joining us, Grace. It's great
Yeah.
for you guys to come on here and talk to us about the show, and we hope to get the people that are voted out. But we really appreciate your time and coming to speak with us.
Yeah.
And I want to thank all the audience that are here watching it live, and those of you that are commenting, as well as those that then listen to this later on a podcast or a run or way to work or whatever. Really appreciate you tuning in, especially those that weren't actually contestants on the show. Like, we love the ones that the contestants on the show, but because they're coming, because they want to hear us talk about them. But people that are contestants that are just enjoying the great work that Dan and Liv have created and participating in this part of the thing, particularly when there's so much Survivor on right now, we really appreciate you coming and having a listen. So thank you to the listeners. Thank you to the ones here live and to the ones in the future. Thanks, Max and Annabelle, as always. And of course, thank you so much, Grace, for coming on. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Queens.
Thank you.